Welcome back guys to another video. I hope you're doing well, and yeah, this actually takes place the day after my last video, so if you're up to date, you'll know that I just dummy fitted a new front bar onto my S13 here. You'll also know that it has a lot of imperfections and a lot of shit that needs to be trimmed back, fixed up, and ultimately I need to drill the holes and get this thing mounted tonight, because I need this front bar on for tomorrow night when I head up to my mate's shop to continue the wrapping. But before any of that happens, I'm going to head to the gym, and after that I'm going to head to Bunnings and going to pick up a few small pieces to start prepping and getting this front bar sorted. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you after I leave the gym.
I'm not seeing it either. Oh wait. Hang on. It's one of these ones. I think this is actually it. Has all the bits and bobs I need. Right now I've got to go get some sandpaper. Got all the sandpaper stuff here, but I'm not seeing what I need. It has a resin gel coat on the outside of it, so it's really glossy and the vinyl won't actually stick to it. So I need to sand that back very lightly, maybe with a 400 and a 800, maybe even 1000. In terms of what I need, maybe just a couple of sheets. Wet and dry sanding sheets, so I actually got to do a wet sand on it. And it's got one of the 400, one of the 800, and 1200 there. So I might just get two of those. Hopefully that should be enough. Said it's only a light sanding, it's nothing too crazy. I don't want to get down to fiberglass. Alright, so I've come away with some things, but not everything. Tonight I just want to get this front bar mounted on temporarily. I don't think I'll do any of the sanding yet. I just got to get her on for when I bring her up to the shop tomorrow. Alright, so I am back home and got Sylvia here. You get started with mounting these side parts of the front bar here. So clearly she's not fitting. She needs a bit of heat, a bit of molding, and then I've got to actually locate those red dot holes and drill them in so I can tie them down. That'll be the same for both sides. For the two bolts on the top there, I'm just going to zip tie them because they're an absolute pain in the ass to reach to. But after I mount the front bar, I can start putting the lights back on. Firstly, because it is pretty late, I do need to get some heat on that to see if I can mold it before cutting it. Or grinding it, sorry. So I'm gonna go get a DIY heat gun and see what magic I can do. Here's my DIY heat gun. So hopefully she works and I won't overcook this front bar. But I've got to get an extension cord for this to actually reach the outlet, so bear with me. Alright, got the heat gun set up, extension cable. This might also be a good time to note that I've never done this before. At the moment I'm just listening to ChatGPT. So whatever happens here, it's because of ChatGPT. Alright, so I managed to get that side on pretty well. I did get it on, but the other side over here was sticking out for sore thumbs. So I think I need to do a bit of heat molding on that side, and I think maybe somewhere along here it's hitting the intercooler. There looks to be a bit of contact with the intercooler here. That side not so much, but one's along here. Yeah, look, I don't think that's going to move at all. I don't think either side's really moving. It's so rigid. Right, so I got this side pretty much exactly how I want it. It's nice and flush. It's tucked in behind here nicely, and it lines up with the already existing rivets pretty well. But the other side is now having a bit of issues. Alright, so my verdict for tonight is I don't think I will be able to get this mounted the way I was hoping to get it mounted, which granted was only temporarily mounted, so it's going to have to be temporarily mounted. I think I might just go ahead and mount the old one back on. So you back on. Because the body kit is black, it's going to be hard to see any marking. I don't have a chalk pen or anything like that, so I'm going to use the tip of this nail and poke the other side, so it'll give me an indication whereabouts roughly it is. Wiggle you around a little bit. Hopefully I'll scratch it up enough for you to tell where it is. Alright, so the marks are actually pretty good. That top one up there, so I'll probably drill it a little bit to the right, and we'll get the other one just down there. Alright, now I'm going to put the other front bar back on. Easy in comparison. Side nuts back in, hold that in place and start putting the lighting back together. So I'll see you when I finish that. Alright, so I got everything put back together. I mean, at least 85% of it. Put the headlights, corner lights, the front bar back on, but I'm not going to put that Silvia grill back on because the mechanism to lock it in, it's a really weird and annoying one, so I'm not going to touch that yet, and I'm not going to put those side indicator houses in because A, there's no bulb in them, so they're useless, but B, it's just a waste of time, so they're going to stay here. So yeah, with that done, I will see you guys tomorrow when I head up to the shop. Welcome back. Today we are at my pop shed and we have a hoist to play around with, and we're going to be tackling the underbody. So I'm going to chuck her up for the first time in a while and have a look around. Might need to do a bit of repair, I don't know. I've got some old underbody spray that might come in hand. So let's go grab Sylvie and get it prepped on the hoist. Alright, so back here I've got a whole box of leftover underbody spray here, and I've got a whole bunch of anti-rust zinc spray as well. So these are all leftover from a past project that I worked on. For those who don't know, I had a 1976 Datsun 260Z. I was restoring that, putting that back together, and all these cans are excess cans that I bought from that little goal, and I haven't had any other project to kind of use them on. So today, after getting the Sylvia on the hoist, have a look under. If there's any issues, anything that can be fixed up or topped up with the coat, look, we'll find out. But I would rather use the spray on Sylvie here than just have it laying around at home, not being used at all. Chuck these bottom ones on first and give her a little push back. Alright, so I've got the jack on the diff. I'm going to prop up both sides so I can slide the hoist arms underneath. Alright, this will be interesting to have a look under. It's been a while. That is not too bad at all. It's actually not too bad at first glance. Naturally everything's a bit dirty, so hopefully the light gets picked up, but front arms down here are looking alright. They're a bit oily. I think the last time I jacked her up, found that there was a bit of an oil leak happening, so the oil pan down here is a bit questionable, but in terms of rust and the actual body lining of it, it's not too bad at all. So we've got some surface rust under here. The stitch weldings are alright. Down here to the rear quarter, It's not that bad. It's a bit of rust in the stitch welding, but look, I'm not surprised. It's not bad. The lighting's all intact. Can't see any major issues or patches where there's holes in it for rust to formulate. Stitch welding on the other side, not too bad at all either. Rear quarter does have a bit of surface rust. It looks like there could have been some Bondo work here. The worst part about this entire underbody that I'm seeing is this little patch here, which is saying something, because normally these are all like eroded to nothing, but that can be sanded away and top coated with, so I'm not too stressed about that. The exhaust, however, holy, that is diabolical. That needs some attention soon, I reckon. Look, my final verdict is it's not bad at all. Not a lot of work really needs to be done, but I've got a whole bunch of spray cans, so I might as well do a top coat while I'm here. You know, there's no point letting it go to waste. I can start fixing up the minor rust patches that were there, sand away a little bit, put a zinc primer on them. With that being said, let's get started with cleaning her up a little bit. Not too bad, I just need to wipe down the subframe, but look, I've got my T28 turbo up there. I've been thinking of changing this to a bigger one along with my bigger injectors and my large MAF sensor. So it would be the holy trinity of basic upgrades for an S chassis. But if you have any suggestions for what kind of turbo or what type of turbo to replace my T28 with, leave it in the comments below. I have a couple other Garrett selections that I am debating between, but look, I don't know everything, and I'm open to suggestions, especially if they're budget friendly, because I'm not a millionaire, sadly, as much as I would like to be. Anyway, regarding the underbody, I'm actually not too sure how to approach this, because there are freckles of rust along the bottom. It's not anything detrimental, but so I'm not sure as to whether to just spray over it with a rust converter and then a body sealing, or a underbody spray. Or should I sand back the spots that are full of rust and then cure them and top them up with a top coat? I'm thinking if I leave them and just put a anti-rust and fucking top coat on them, they're not gonna, look, it's not gonna cure it. So I'm thinking I might sand back and grind back the more, all the worst parts anyway, and from that point on I can maybe spray the whole underbody, but yeah. Alright, so I've got a wire brush. Don't think I use a wire wheel or anything on this, just because there's not too much damage. I don't want to do more damage to the car than good. Oh, trying to breathe any of this shit in. I should probably be wearing a respirator, but nah, that's alright. I want a whole year without doing that. Had a speedrun cancer is what that is. Alright, I'm gonna wipe that down with some degreaser. Not too bad, not too bad. At least it gets rid of the bulk of the rust, so I think it's actually a good idea to just remove the top coat of the rust, and then from that point on I can put some rust converter on and I can top it up with a top coat of body spray, oh sorry, underbody spray, to protect that from future rust, at least hopefully. So I've got some more that you saw here before on the side here, so I might sand back this, or sorry, wire brush it back, and same thing with just everywhere else along the underbody here. There's not too many spots, thankfully, so after I do that I can move on with putting the underbody spray on, and then that would be a job done for today. I'll be honest, this back corner over here is pretty bad. Like, there's a lot of surface rust, and I think this whole quarter panel here is fiberglass, not metal. So, or sorry, Bondo, something of that area, but it is not original. And I've got a bunch of surface rust up there that I can't really reach with the wire brush. So I'll have to come up with something to tackle that up there. Alright, so I'm pretty confident in what I've done. It's basic, it's nothing too crazy, but look, I've got to use this body spray somewhere, so I'm kind of excited that I get to finally get rid of some of it, if not all of it. But I will tackle this underbody, see how we go. I don't want to leave too much untouched, because if you do part of it, I mean, it's not like anyone's really going to see it, but you're going to have a different coloured underbody, which I guess, now that I'm saying that out loud, doesn't really matter too much. But I'm going to turn this fan on. Hopefully the overspray should just fly out that way. I don't actually have my respirator with me, so no mask here either, which is a bit concerning, but I'm just going to have to thug out cancer and hold my breath. Alright, so this has been a long time coming. First, we'll probably start with the anti-rust zinc coating here. Sounds pretty good. So the zinc coating will essentially protect the steel, the raw steel itself. It's not a rubber coat or anything, but it will protect it from environmental factors. The only thing is, I don't think it's a rust converter or anything. So I think what I've done, the wire brush and whatnot, is all I can do at the moment. I wish I had some sort of rust converter to counteract it, but look, it's not the worst. I'm gonna spray this and the rubber undercoat over to protect it, but I don't think it's going to necessarily cure it. This was the undercoating that I was speaking about. It's not a rust converter, but this will be the coat that I top off the black primer with. It's been a minute since I've used it, so I wonder if there's much in it to begin with. That's not too bad. Alright, I have the precision of a fucking sniper. Alright, she'll be right. Shit, I already fucked up. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. Not actually too bad. The overspray wasn't too chaotic, but the colour difference isn't too crazy. It is down there because that's where the blue overspray from the outer coat here got to. So there's a bit of a drastic difference there, but you're not going to be seeing any of that anyway. Looks to be all good. I'm happy with that. Now we're just got to do the other side. Alright, so I have finished most of it. For today, at least, I've managed to do the sides here. The stitch welding and just where the rails are, and it's like that on both sides. So I've covered it in a rubber housing that is setting at the moment. Realistically, I should probably wait 24 to 48 hours for it to set, but I can't leave my car here overnight, so it's just gonna have to take half an hour to cure before we get out of here. But I am actually pretty happy with that. I've done what I wanted to today, so that checks that off the list. And if I ever want to come back to tackle this again, it will be to remove all of it and spray the underbody with a proper rubber undercoat. So not one from Amazon, but proper brand, one that actually rubberizes and has a thick layer of protectant against the metal. But for the most part, I am happy with what has been done today. I've got a lot on my plate at the moment and I have to leave soon. A lot to do at work, so that will wrap up this little segment. We'll probably lead this into another part on another day.